Today I'm going to be teaching you about keyboard basics. The first thing you have to know when practicing the keyboard is where the notes are. We use the letters C to B, with C being here and B being here. The letters in between are C, D, E, F, G, A, B. The black keys on the keyboard are called sharps and flats. To determine if it is a sharp or flat, we look at if it's on the right or the left of the white key. If it's to the right of the white key, we call it a sharp. But if it's to the left of the key, we call it a flat. For example, this can be called C sharp because it's to the right of the C. However, it can also be called D flat because it's to the left of the D. These also have different symbols on sheet music, with a sharp looking like this, and a flat looking like this. You can memorise these by either writing the notes down on the keys, or purchasing a note strip which looks like this. Those are where the notes are placed on a keyboard. All a chord really is just a group of notes played together. The most common kind of chord is a triad made up of 3 notes. An example of this is C major, which goes like this. This is a triad as it is made up of the notes C, E, and G. We can create minor and major chords by counting in semitones. This basically just means counting a number of notes away from where you started, including the black keys. This applies to major and minor chords. All major chords have a 3-2 semitone pattern. For example, to find C major, you start at the root, which is the first note at the start of a chord, which in our case is C. And since we're doing a major chord, we need to follow the 3-2 pattern. So we start from the root, count 3 across, 1, 2, 3, and the second note is going to be E. Then we count 2, 1, 2, and the next note is G, meaning that this triad of C major is going to be made up of C, E, and G, which sounds like this. To find a minor chord, we need to reverse that pattern and make it a 2-3 pattern. So if you were to find C minor, we'd go to the root, which is C. We then count 2 across. So we're going to go 1, 2, and we end up at D sharp. We're then going to count 3 across. 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be G. Meaning this triad is going to be made up of C, D sharp, and G, which sounds like this. One of the main differences between major and minor chords is the fact that major chords sound a bit more bright and happy, whereas minor chords tend to sound more dark and eerie. That is how you can create major and minor chords. In order to learn any song on the piano, you need to be able to read sheet music. This is a simple song. Most sheet music is split up into 2 parts, the bass clef on the bottom and the treble clef on the top. You can also figure out if it's treble clef or bass clef by looking to the left of the key signature. This is what treble clef looks like, and this is what bass clef looks like. Each line represents a different note. Notes can lie on lines such as this, or they can lay on spaces like this in the middle of the lines. On the treble clef, these are what the lines represent. This first line is E, the second line is G, the third line is B, the fourth line is D, and the fifth line is F. An easy way to remember these is by using phrases such as every good boy deserves football. If I was to look for G, I'd go every good. Good is the second word, therefore G is the second line. The spaces are the letters in between the lines, and there are 4 notes. These spell out the word face. The first one is F, the second one is A, the third one is C, and the top one is E. So if I were to look for E, I'd look at the word face. E is the last one, therefore E will be the last space up here. That is how to read the treble clef. The bass clef is usually below the treble clef. It still has lines and spaces, but uses a different set of notes. The lines represent these notes. The first line is G, the second line is B, the third line is D, the fourth line is F, and the fifth line is A. To remember these easier, you can use the phrase, "Good boys deserve football always." So if I were to find F on the bass clef, I would look at the phrase, "Good boys deserve football," which is the 4th. Therefore, it's going to be the 4th line, which is there. The spaces have the letters A, C, E, and G. A phrase you can use is "all cows eat grass." So if I were to look for the letter C, I would look at the phrase "all cows." It's the second one, therefore it's going to be the second space. That is how you can read the bass clef.